Hey guys, Mr. Eurolizard Duh here with a deck profile. Today I'm actually showing you my EDH deck that I play with some friends. My commander, Kaalia of the Vast. She's one of the more aggro generals, and when she attacks, you can put an angel, demon, or dragon onto the creature, or creature card onto the battlefield tapped and attacking your opponent. You probably can't see that because it's really fuzzy, but I'm sure y'all know what Kaalia does anyway. So, y'all know the basic rules of the EDH, only one card, except for basic lands, only cards of your general. So we're going to start off with the creatures. First creature is Blood Gift Demon. One of my favorite cards, 5/4 for 5, and at the beginning of your upkeep, target player draws a card and loses 1 life. That gets crazy over a while, and if you need it to draw a little bit more, then you got it. Rune Scarred Demon. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you can search your library for a card, put it in your hand, and shuffle your library. Great for searching out cards, especially when you have 99 cards in here, and you need to find something good. Gristlebrand, flying, lifelink, pay 7 life, draw 7. Not generally a big problem, because this has some life gain. Tombstalker, it's got Delve, which is pretty good because you can remove any number of cards from your graveyard, and for each one you remove it costs 1 less to play, so it could be a 5/5 for 2. Reaper of the Abyss, it's got Morbid, and if a creature died, then you get to destroy target non-demon creature. And then one of my favorites, Obnixilis, he's got Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may have target player lose 3 life. If you do, put 3 +1/+1 on him. He can get crazy really fast. And then Axithrid Demon, one of the bigger bombs of this deck. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature other than Axithrid Demon, then each opponent loses life equal to the sacrificed creature's power. If I can't sack a creature, then I tap him and I lose 7. But it's pretty good given the fact that a lot of these creatures are above 4 or 5 damage, and you do that to everybody. So, he's pretty good. And then one of the cards that's probably going to come out after Gatecrash, Pestilence Demon. It's just in there really to be in there. It deals 1 damage to target or to each creature and each player if I tap 1 black. Nothing too big boom, but it's in there to take up space right now. And then our angels, we've got Guardian Seraph. If a source an opponent would deal or control deals damage to you, prevent 1 of that damage. Angelic Arbiter. I love this card because it creates a mini lock with your opponent. Each opponent who casts a spell this turn can't attack with creatures, and each opponent who attacks with a creature this turn can't cast spells. So, it's really fun seeing them struggle and everything. Then we got Iona, Shield of Emeria. When she enters the battlefield, choose a color. Your opponent can't cast spells of that color, which is great because if you're playing against a mono black EDH or something, you declare black, they can't cast black. And then you've got Linvala, Keeper of Silence. Activated abilities of creatures your opponent controls can't be activated. That screws up with a lot of people sometimes. Requiem Angel. When another non-spirit creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 1/1 white spirit token onto the battlefield. Great, because whenever a creature dies, you at least get a chump blocker in return, which is great because you can sack it for Axithrid or something like that. Now, this card, a lot of people don't like me running it, but I love it. Victory's Herald. When she attacks, attacking creatures I control gain flying and lifelink. Now, most of the creatures in this deck have flying already, but for those that don't, then they get evasion. The lifelink is what gets it, because generally I'm swinging for 9-10 each turn, so that's a lot of life regained. Emeria Angel. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under my control, I may put a 1/1 white bird token. So, you get another blocker or something like that. Archangel of Strife. Probably one that's going to come out after Gatecrash. Because whenever she enters the battlefield, each player chooses War or Peace. If you choose War, your creatures get 3/3/0. If you choose Peace, you get +0/+3. So, nothing too out of the ordinary, or extraordinary anyway. And then we've got Silver Seraph, flying, threshold, other creatures. With that, my other creatures get +2/+2, which is great because generally I'm going to have 7 cards anyway in the graveyard. So my creatures are going to get pumped up nicely. And then Blinding Angel. Whenever she deals combat damage to a player, that player skips his or her next combat phase, which is great because with Kaalia, I just tap Kaalia Swing and then drop Blinding Angel. Suddenly they can't attack next turn. Now we've got Deathless Angel. She gives Indestructible for 2, which is great because it'll protect Kaalia. We've got Baneslayer Angel. She's got Flying, First Strike, Lifelink, and Protection from demons and from dragons. So, of course, she's a must, just because, you know, I still think she's better than some of the Titans. Then we've got a Darkar Valkyrie, Flying, Vigilance, and I can tap her, and whenever target creature other than a Darkar Valkyrie is put into the graveyard this turn, return that creature to my control. So I kill one of their creatures, and then I get it back, under my control. Then we've got Rhea Dawnbringer. At the beginning of my upkeep, I can return target creature card from my graveyard to play, which is great because I can bring back Kaalia if I decide to let her die. Restoration Angel, Flying Flash, and I can just blink Kaalia to protect her from like a random kill spell. I was going to say Doomblade, but I forgot Kaalia's black, and that wouldn't work. Twilight Shepherd, one of my favorite cards in this deck. Flying, Vigilance, and when she comes into play, return to my hand all creatures in my graveyard that were put there from play this turn. And she's got Persist, which is basically, what is it? I forgot. But when she comes into play, I put a -1/-1 counter on her. When this creature is put into the graveyard from play, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, return it to play under my control with a -1/-1, which is great. And then, of course, we've got Avacyn, Angel of Hope. She gives all my other permanents indestructible as well, so makes it harder to kill them. And then for the red, you saw that Kaalia does Angels, Demons, and Dragons. I don't run a whole lot of Dragons in here, but I run some. We've got Anger, just one of those miscellaneous cards. As long as it's in the graveyard, all my creatures have haste, so if I hardcast something, it gets haste. Guardian Hellkite, Flash, Flying, and when it enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage divided as I choose among any number of target creatures or players, which can help with some of those pesky killing off things. Thundermaw Hellkite, we all know this little bastard in Standard, so no point in explaining it. Akroma, Angel of Fury. She can't be countered. She's got Flying, Trample, and Protection from white and blue. She's got Morph, and for 1 red, I can give her Fire Breathing, which is great. And we've got our multicolored stuff, Teriel, Reckoner of Souls, Flying, Vigilance, tap her, choose target creature at random from target opponent's graveyard, and then put it under my control onto the battlefield. Angel of Despair, Flying, and when she enters the battlefield, destroy target permanent. And then Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight, Flying, First Strike. If a source would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, that source is doubled. And if a source would deal damage to me, then I prevent half of it. So, of course, she was a must in this deck. And, of course, we've got my favorite guy, Rakdos, Lord of Riots. I can't cast him unless an opponent loses life, but for 4 of Flying with Trample and creature spells, I control cost 1 less to cast for each 1 life my opponent plays. And in a big deck like this, it's kind of required. And then our last creature is Platinum Angel. Just one of those, I'm gonna fuck you up kind of cards. Flying, and I can't lose the game, and my opponents can't win the game. So unless they get rid of her, the game goes on. And then spells and junk. Some of my search spells, Diabolic Tutor, Diabolic Revelations, and Increasing Ambition. As soon as I get a Demonic Tutor and stuff like that, I'm gonna put them in here. But like I said, I'm a very casual player, and I can't afford a lot of this stuff. So, and then our other black spells, we've got Siphon Flesh. Each player sacks a creature, and I put a 2/2 zombie creature or zombie token onto the battlefield for each creature sacked this way. Sorry about the camera moving. Crap. Hurt my arm earlier today and all that crap. But anyway, Attrition. Sacrifice a creature, destroy target non-black creature, and it only costs 1 black. Probably something that's going to come out come Gate Crash, but it's still in there for removal. Plague Wind, destroy all creatures that I don't control. They can't be regenerated. So, pretty big destruction spell. Of course, it's astronomically expensive, but, you know, who knows. Doomblade, it's Doomblade. Siphon Mind. Each other player discards a card. I get to draw a card for each card discarded that way. And then Guess Verdict. We know what that does. And then we've got Earthquake. Earthquake deals X damage to each creature without flying into each player, so of course it'll hit me, but it doesn't generally hit my creatures, because I think just about everybody has flying in this deck. And then we've got Comet Storm. You choose value of X, it's got multi-kicker, and choose target creature or player, then choose another target creature or player for each time Comet Storm was kicked. It deals X damage to each of them, so can remove a lot really quickly. And some more of my more favorite junk cards to put in here. Fervor. It gives all my creatures haste, so as soon as they attack, they come in swinging. Heretic's Punishment. Now, this card is one of those... Why am I running it? Well, it's one of those... It's just a fun card, really. For 4, I choose target creature or player, then I put the top 3 cards of my library into my graveyard. It deals damage to that creature or player equal to the highest converted cost among those creatures. Now, Angels, Demons, and Dragons are among the most expensive cards in the game, and I'm running all 3 of them in here, so, and they're in abundance, so it's going to get pretty bad pretty quickly. And then we've got just Mortify and Terminate, destroy target creature, counter removal. Once I get a Dreadbore, I'm going to put it in here, but I need those, hint hint. Lightning Greaves, equip 0, and equipped creature has haste and shroud. So give that to Kaalia or something. Same thing with Swiftfoot Boots, gives them hexproof and haste. And I've got Doubling Cube. It just doubles the amount of, each type of mana in my mana pool, which can really help, especially with a lot of huge card cost. Boros Signet, Rakdos Signet, and Orzhov Signet, just to give me those that extra mana. And then, of course, Soul Ring. And then, you've seen a lot of the cards in here, but there's still 4 that I run. They're kind of out of the ordinary, but it's like a little lock I like. The first one is Marilyn of the Morn Song. Players can't draw cards, and at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player loses 3 life, searches his library for a card, and puts it into his or her hand. At first, that doesn't seem threatening, but we pair that with Leonian Arbiter. Players can't search libraries, and they have to pay 2 to ignore this effect. Well, then we have Winter Orb. Players can't untap more than 1 land during their untap phases. So you're sitting there losing 3 life, and it's only every other turn you can do to search, unless, of course, you know, all that good stuff. But it slowly whittles you down, and they can't attack me because Windborn mutes. Creatures can't attack me unless their controller pays 2 for each creature he or she controls that's attacking you. So this gets pretty nasty. But, as you saw earlier, with some cards like Bloodgift Demon on the field, if I have Marilyn, they can't draw, so they just lose 1 life. And then, of course, Angelic Arbiter, that adds a little bit more of a lock, because they can't, or if they cast a spell, then they can't play a creature or anything. And of course, Iona, we can completely lock them down, and then Linvala protects if they already had a creature on the field. And then just the land basics, we've got an Evolving Wilds, a Vivid Meadow, a Tainted Field, a Stensia Bloodhall, a Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle, a Secluded Steppe, Molten Slag Heap, is there a card on? Nope. Lava Claw Reaches, Bajuka Bog, Terramorphic Expanse, Isolated Chapel, Barren Moor, Vault of the Archangel. This is a proxy for a Godless Shrine, or not a Godless Shrine, the Boros land. We've got a Godless Signet, or Godless Shrine, Command Tower, Vivid Marsh, and just the basic lands that we run. So, that's the deck. Like I said, it's pretty big, and I apologize if I bored you. I just wanted to put a new video out there. Don't forget about my contest. If y'all are doing the Gatecrash Booster Box contest, I need those cards by, or you need to tell me that you're sending by February 1st. And just remember that I have my subscriber contest going on as well. Thanks, guys.